Just look at me. Need to make sure that we've got good posture, especially when we do this breath work, because it allows us to open up our lungs, use our full capacity of lungs, and that's what's really important about keeping the right posture when you do the breath work. And we do the breath work at the start because we want to be able to ease into the class, allow ourselves to take a step back, and then we go into the movement aspect, start to do some developmental stretches, start to mobilise through the different joints, start to move this body the way that it's supposed to move, because if you don't move it, you lose it. Now look, I'll try and pick up my bum cheeks and stick my seat bones right on the edge of this cushion, and that just allows me to tilt my hips forwards and bring my hands down towards my knees, and we start with a little bit of wave breath, and also pairs it as a bit of a meditation as well at the same time. You can have your palms facing upwards if you want to, or you can have them placing down towards the knees. Now, make sure you've got this nice upright erect spine. Take an inhale and send that chest up. Tilt the hips forwards, draw the shoulders back, push the chin in, and then lengthen up through the spine. Close your eyes there. And just start to become aware of the sounds. Maybe outside of the room, maybe inside of the room. Become mindful of the frequencies that are bouncing around and into your ears, and you computing this, and maybe objectifying things. I want you to rather than objectify things, like if you hear a bird, you don't say bird in your mind. You try and step back and just experience the sound on the purest of levels. Now move internally and just feel the breath move in through the nasal passage. And also listen to the sound as it moves in and drops down towards the stomach. And feel the stomach fall away and the breath move out through the nose again. And what I want you to do here, feel free if you want to open your eyes to see a little bit of my demonstration, but keep them closed if you've done a class like this before and you've heard of the Ujjayi breath. Now the Ujjayi breath is where we create this restriction in the back of the throat, and we create this almost oceanic sound. It's like you're trying to fog a mirror, so trying to create this restriction in the back of the throat that allows us to take this breath in and regulate it, so it becomes a slower inhale and a slower exhale, but you're still trying to guide the breath down in towards the bottom of the lungs. So create that restriction at the back of the throat. And listen to me, I'll exaggerate it so you can hear. Create that restriction, go through a few breaths, allow yourself to settle into the practice. And now I want you to try and picture in your mind this wave lapping up onto a beach. And as you take the inhale, imagine that wave retreating back into the ocean. Every time you take an exhale, this wave moves up onto the sandbank, onto this beach. So try and picture that. The inhale, it retreats. The exhale, it laps up onto the shore. Inhale, retreat. Exhale, laps up onto the shore. Try and watch that wave the whole time so it lengthens the breath. It allows you to take this step back into this place of relaxation, this place of surrender that allows us to drop into these movements a little bit easier as we go into the main practice. Take one more breath there. Slowly release the breath through the nose. And take the palms together and rub the palms as fast as you can. Place the hands onto the back of your neck and just start to roll the head around in one direction. Really slow. This is time for you. No one else. Come back round the other way. You can even do a little bit of self-massage right into the base of the skull. Nice and gentle. Head back up towards the central position. And rub the palms again. Create this heat. Feel it surge through the palms of the hands. And then place the hands onto the eyes. Again, feel that transfer of heat in towards the face and slowly open your eyes there. A little bit of light in and spread the fingers apart. Let the hands slide down from the face. Now, we're going to start with a little bit of neck mobility, then we'll go into a little bit of balance and then centered around hip mobility as well. So there's loads of amazing stretches there that you can use to create the sense of release through the hips, which also has in turn a little bit of a knock-on effect in the mind as well. Now, if you're comfortable in this position, then stay like this. If you can't sit in a cross-legged position, you can also stick a couple of things underneath your knees to allow them to raise up so it makes it more comfortable for you, or put your back against the wall. This isn't about being uncomfortable for this class. Or you can even take your feet out towards the front. Or you can make the cushion a little bit bigger underneath your bum. Draw the shoulders down. This is really important because we're trying to lengthen up through the neck. Head down towards that right hand side. Draw the shoulders down. Sweep it round the front. Over towards the left hand side. So you're just working through that full circular motion. Head over towards that left shoulder. Sweep it round to the front, over towards the right. Again, feel that tightness through the different parts of the neck. We've got loads of different muscles within the neck. And this is where we hold a lot of our attention. Mental tension, you hold burdens here, sweep it over to the other side. Back up towards this equilibrium, this nice postural position where I dissipate the forces evenly through our spine. Don't lose the posture there, make sure the hips are tilted forwards. Head comes down towards the right shoulder and pull that left shoulder away from the left ear. Now create a little bit of downward pressure with your right hand. Just hold there and take an inhale. Exhale, let it release. And this is the key to this class, is using the breath to guide you into these positions. Inhale to exhale. One more inhale. Every breath out, just feel the stress move away from the body. And then sweep the head around towards the left hand side. Take your left hand onto your head. Pull down the left ear to the left shoulder. And it's not like a big pull, it's just you're literally letting your hand rest on your head. There's nothing too forceful about any of these stretches, you're just allowing gravity to bring you down into them. Take an inhale into the stomach, exhale. Inhale deep into the stomach. Exhale. One more, inhale. And exhale. Good. Sweep the head around, go in a big circle there. Might feel comfy, might feel a few little clicks and flicks over different muscles, over different joints. Come back the other way, it's totally natural, it's the same for me. There's a little bit of tightness in my neck as well, back up towards the top. Okay, we're going to start in a standing position for this class. Again, just got to hone into our kinesthetic feedback, this sense of feel that we have, and we have to think about how we can actually feel the soles of our feet in towards the floor. So step all the way towards the front of the mat. Hands down by the sides, squeeze and tuck through the bum cheeks. Draw the shoulders back, find that postural position again. Relax the fingers. And I just want you to feel where the weight is at the bottom of your feet. Is it towards the left foot? Is it towards the right? Is it towards the heels? Is it towards the toes? But keep that bum squeezed, the centre core stability. And I want you to shift the weight forward so it goes onto the balls of your feet and feel that weight shift here. If you're already there, then that might mean that your centre of gravity is a tendency to be further forward, which can sometimes be associated with lower back pain. Come back towards the heels. Again, find your balance there. Back towards the central point, over towards the right foot. That's it. Keep your balance. If you feel like you're going to fall over, then obviously open your eyes. Towards the left. Feel the weight through the left foot. Back towards the centre and come forwards towards the balls of feet, round the outside edge of the right foot, towards the heels, over towards the left. So you're doing this big circle, back round to the front. Once you hit the front, come back round the left hand side. It's just becoming mindful, come back round towards the heels or outside the right foot. Mindful of every single thing that we do and where the weight is actually applied within our feet, our stance, how we stand. We need to see how we function as human beings. Now from there, open your eyes slowly. Take both hands together. Take a big reach up into the sky. You won't be able to see my hands, but just know that they're together, fingers are spread apart. Forward fold, nice flat back position. As soon as you get this tension through the hamstrings, then allow yourself to fold through this body here. Fingertips hit the floor. And I want you to bend the knees and then straighten through. I'm just going to do this 5 times for 1. Extend for 2. Inhale. Exhale, extend. Head dropping a little bit now. Inhale, push chest long. Exhale, head down for 4. Inhale, exhale, head down for 5. Alright. Right foot comes back. Big step out, and try and keep this chest nice and proud. Drop the back knee, and then open up through the chest. It's just a normal part of a Hatterson salutation, one of the movements that if you haven't seen before, maybe search that out on one of my other videos. Draw the shoulders back, squeeze the back bum cheek, drop through the hips, both hands come in line with this front foot. And then come back with this left knee. Drop into child's pose. Just take a couple of breaths there. Then take your knees to a wide position. Let the stomach drop down in between the thighs. And then rise up towards the top. What I want you to do from here is lie on your back, extend the legs out, and then interlink your fingers behind this right knee. Relax your head if it's not doing anything. And we use the inhale to bring the foot up towards the top. You're pulling the toes towards the head and you're turning the little toe towards you as well. So you're not letting the foot split into the inside. Don't worry if you can't straighten out. Inhale, exhale as you bend the knee. Exhale. Inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, inhale up. Feel the stretch through the hamstring. Slowly move. It doesn't have to be entirely me as well. We've all got a different length of breath here. Then come up to the top. And I want you to turn the foot outwards, so just the foot outwards, not the whole leg. And then come back to the centre and turn the foot inwards. Now come back to the central point, turn the foot and also rotate this leg in the socket. Feel the difference there. You probably get this big stretch up through the place that we usually associate with the sciatic nerve. On the outside of the leg, all the way to the bum, maybe up towards the toes. Turn it inside. back towards centre, slowly let the heel drop down towards your bum, extend up. Now drop the whole leg over to the inside, keep your left bum cheek grounded into the floor, turn the toes up towards your head, then back over towards the right hand side. Keep it there, towards that right hand side. Up towards the central point again. Bend this left knee, so a nice stable base support, right foot comes down onto the left knee. Left hand down onto the floor and just push away with that top knee. That's it, just mobilising through the hip, nice and gently. Keep pushing away. This will make sense as we go on to the next position. It allows you to open the hips even more. Push away for that last time. Take the hands down by the sides, just creates that nice stable base support for you to move the body, and then drop the feet and the knees over towards that left hand side as if this right foot is going sole down to the floor. And use this left leg as a little bit of a pivot point to allow the right knee to open up. Don't worry if you can't, again, open up as far as me there. It might feel really uncomfortable, like you're opening up through the whole of the hip, say the outside of the left and right hip. So it's not an easy movement. Keep there and just allow gravity to let the top knee sink down. Close your eyes. Especially when we go into some of the holds, especially later on in this class, it can become uncomfortable because you're in there for long periods of time, and that's where we start to change this structure of the joints, change the structure of the connective tissue, and even start to stress the muscles so that they become a lot more lengthened as well. Back up towards the top and then interlink your fingers behind this left knee. Big pull in. Feel that stretch through the right bum cheek. Good stretch for anyone who's got sciatic pain as well. Push the right elbow out against that knee that's bent with the top foot. Push it away, and that should intensify the stretch a little bit more. Left foot comes down, right foot comes to knee, arms out to the side, just do a little bit of a rock from side to side. And we go for the opposite side, we extend the right leg out to the front, interlink the fingers underneath the left knee, toes up towards your head, and then extend that leg upwards. Good. Slowly down. Use the inhale to send up. Exhale down. See how we're moving really slow. Our body is a little bit of a mirror for our mind. Sometimes we move through life quickly, like when I'm walking, sometimes I end up realising that I'm actually walking really quickly, and it's a little bit of an unconscious movement, so I try and slow myself down and walk slowly. And at the same time when I do that, my mind slows down. And even vice versa, if you start to slow the mind down, maybe your pace of walking will start to slow down as well, because the internal reflects the external and vice versa. Now come back up towards the top, try and turn that toe towards your head again, and just turn the foot towards the left hand side, not the leg rotating in the socket. Foot turns to the inside, pretty hard to do, back towards the centre, and then again rotate that leg in the socket. Rotate, rotate, rotate. Rotate it back towards the inside. Keep it there. It's an intense stretch. Back up towards the top point, and then bring, in fact, just before we do that, we'll let the heel drop down, get a little bit of a break through the quads, because it does start to warm your quads up a little bit here as well. Turn the toes towards the head. Drop the foot over towards the inside. That's it. Huge stretch. All the way down the outside of this leg. Just think how much better you're going to feel after doing this class. Up towards the central point. Over towards the outside. You can even take that other hand down to the side and just support it with your left hand. Back up towards the top. Now, right knee crooks. Left foot comes on top of the right knee. Again, relax that head, right hand comes down to the floor, and then push away open up through the hip. If you're getting these little clicks through the body, generally it's not painful, it's not a bad thing. You're just starting to create this new space in the body, and maybe you haven't moved the joint for a while. Push away. Good. Exactly the same as what we did on the other side, on this side. Push away again. Hands come out to the side and then drop that top foot over, as if the sole of the foot hits the floor, and then use the pivot point again of the right leg to open out with the left knee. If any of these positions feel uncomfortable for you, then just work into your own ability level. You can go back to the other exercise where we're just pushing the knee back and forth. Again, just have to be mindful of your own ability level and not do too much. Breathe it out. Slow the body down. Back up towards the central point and interlink the fingers through the scap. Thread the needle. Grab to the back of my right thigh and then I pull in the knee towards my head, which in turn creates a stretch on my left hip. Push out with the left elbow onto the inside of the thigh. Now the next move that's coming up, it's going to be a little bit of an opener for the mid-back, the thoracic spine. This is somewhere that we're usually very, very immobile in regards to the whole of the human race. Usually because of looking at phones, sitting at a desk, and we come in this curved back position. So this is pretty much the opposite. Now if you have a cushion, grab a cushion, and you can juggle it over to create this effect. We've got a little bit of a ramp there for my back to go over. Before we do this, I want you to do exactly the same as what I'm doing. Both soles of feet together. Interlink the fingers underneath your feet and then push the knees out. Draw up through the chest. That's it. Feel a big stretch through the groin, through these adductor muscles. Magnus, longus and brevis. Pull up with the knees. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Now look to me. Usually there's the midpoint of our back where we come really round. It's called a kyphotic curve. And you know what? You should have some form of kyphosis, but it shouldn't be too much, alright? Because we start to get this horrible neck position that gives us a lot of strain through our neck and also brings our centre of gravity forwards. So we need to try and open up through this area. So I want you to think about this mid part of the back, just below your shoulder blades. Alright, so find the bottom part of your shoulder blades, and I want you to imagine you're sticking this cushion right in the middle of that area, but you're going to keep with this butterfly position with the legs. You're going to extend it over the back. Now that might feel like it's going to take your breath away. Again, if you want to, you can put something underneath your head just to support the head. And then we're going to open up through the chest as well, which is another place we get really tight with posture. So bring your arms into this goalpost position. And just lie back. Squeeze and tuck through the pelvis maybe a little bit. And try and walk your feet up towards your groin a little bit more. Feel the chest open. I mean, I can feel that there, and I'm pretty open through my chest. If you've got the arms in the right position, just move the arms around, bring the elbows down towards the sides and back up, and when you get to a point where it feels the most tight, just let it lie there. Let everything fall back. I usually do this sort of foam roller myself, and that creates a little bit more of a sturdy pivot point for my back to go over the top. Now extend the arms out over top. That might take your breath away a little bit more. And again, just work through your own limitations here. If you can do a couple of double folds of the pillow, or you can do maybe a couple of pillows on top of each other, then, or you can only do a flat pillow. This just depends on your own capability and, well, lack of mobility through that thoracic spine, and I urge you to just work to the best of your ability and to work to the best that you can do. And if you hold your breath in these positions, then you won't get anywhere near as much out of it. And breathe over the top. Keep the arms there. And you can stay for as long as you want. I would say probably maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Breathe out. Feel the knees open as well. And let gravity guide you down. Again, as you see, none of these stretches are pulling you down into the position. You're just allowing gravity to do its job. Pull you in towards the earth. Slowly bring yourself out of that. You might have a little bit of stiffness there. And pop that pillow off towards the side. Now, you can either pop up to the top, a little bit of a fun thing to try and get yourself used to doing, or you can just turn around and go onto all fours. So bring yourself onto all fours, hands directly underneath the shoulders, knees directly underneath the hips, push the bum to the sky, head up toward the sky and tuck underneath. So have a little bit of a counter stretch there, feel the difference. Inhale up, exhale down. A little bit of rotation there as well. Right hand comes in the centre, left hand into the sky. Inhale up. Exhale, thread the needle. And try and get this left shoulder down towards the floor. And then you can just push in through the back of your hand and create this rotation as you move up toward the sky. Get a nice stretch through the mid-traps there. Around this point, left hand comes down to replace the right hand into the sky, directly above that left hand. Stay strong through that bottom arm, and then exhale, come through the gap again, reach through, palm facing upwards, push through the back of the hand, look up towards the sky again. Big stretch. Try that one more time. Right hand down, left hand into the sky, exhale through, but this time, bring the right arm over top. Again, that might increase the stretch a little bit more. Perfect. Back towards the centre. Right hand up into the sky. Just got a couple of different views here so you can see. Palm facing up to push through the back of that hand. Left hand up over the top of the head. Breathe out. Push through the back of the hand, breathe out. And then back round towards the central point. We're going to do a little bit of mindful balance now in a second, but we're going to go through nice one flow of the sun salutation. Nice. Hands out towards the front. Tuck the toes and then back into downward dog. Try and have your feet together. Now this might be tight, depending on your mobility, depending on what you've done during the day. Maybe you're doing this in the morning. Now we're usually a lot stiffer in the morning because our body hasn't been moving. It's the perfect time to actually do this. Also doing this before you go to bed as well. It just slows your mind down, slows the body down. Start to pedal those knees, as you can see me doing. Push the bum to the sky, create that pelvic tilt, nice flat back position, so bend your knees if you need to and drop the chest towards the floor. We're going to go up with the left foot into the sky, peel up, bring that left foot as far forward as you can and drop the back knee. Open up through the chest, squeeze and drop through the hips. And then exhale, both hands come down. Tuck the back toe and then right foot comes up towards left. And just let your whole body sink towards the floor. Let the crown of the head go heavy and push the knees back. Can be the slightest of bends there, but try not to go in this bendy position because you won't get that full fascial stretch through the whole of the back line of the body. And then interlink your elbows behind your knees, drop the head fully. Breathe out. That's it, feel the body sink through.
Even having these arms behind you just creates this pulling in action, allows your head to go down a little bit further, allows you to get more of the stretch. Release the hands. Fingertips go to the floor, bend the knees, hands come together and rock it into the sky with both hands. Look up towards the thumbs, squeeze and tuck through the back body, and then open up the hands. Big stretch out through the chest, but squeeze underneath, don't lose it through the spine, all the way down. Hands onto the lower back, pull the elbows back and then lift up with the chest. Hands out to the side again, up into the sky. They come together, palms. Extend out one more time again. Hands to the back. Extend it through the chest. Back up and round. And then exhale down and towards heart centre. Now pick the top left hand corner of your mat. I've got my foot halfway on, halfway off. I'm going to work for a little bit of balance here. I'm going to go backwards around my mat. So use this outside point of the mat. Look forwards, find a fixed point, squeeze through the left bum cheek. Plant the foot behind. It's actually a lot more challenging than you think. Especially when you're trying to get half of your foot on the mat, half of your foot off. Step one foot behind the other. Nice and slow and controlled. That's it. Create this focus. Good, good, good. You're doing well. Try to ignore me. Focus yourself. Hit that back corner of the mat. When you hit the back corner, have a look down. Really turn through, and I want you to walk through the short side. Forwards. Then turn around towards this backward position again. Start to walk back. Nice and slowly. Squeeze on the supporting leg. Don't worry if you lose your balance, don't beat yourself up. This is a little bit of a test for yourself. No one else. Keep going until you hit that top corner of the mat. And as you get there, take a turn through all the way to the front. Inhale, look up towards the thumbs and then exhale again, flat back, all the way down until the fingertips hit the floor. Then interlink those elbows behind the knees, drop the head, push the knees back again. Take these big inhales and exhale, feel the body release through. Going to start to open up the hips now, so take the fingers down to the mat again. Open up with the right foot. Then the left. What I want you to do here is just pedal through a couple of times. That's it. Start there. Have a little bit of an explore. Move the knees in a rotated fashion underneath the body. And then bring that right foot up into the sky. Right foot comes forwards. Drop onto the back knee. And walk this front foot all the way out to the outside of the mat. Maybe even that back knee out to the opposite side. What I want you to do from here is I want you to take your hands onto your bum, draw the shoulders back and then sink through the hips. Now that will be really opening up your hips in that position. So sink, sink. Don't, if you're getting a bit of pressure through your lower back, then just stay down in that position. And walk the hands down to the inside of this front leg. Push the chest up long. And then walk the hands around as if you're trying to bring them all the way around to that back foot. And again, this front knee, push it outwards as if you're trying to go onto the outside edge of that right foot. This will be quite intense. And then just hold there. Maybe you can even walk the fingers out a little bit further. I'll open the hips a little bit more, and then you can come round in this. Fashion back to the front. Drop even further through the hips. Keep it there. And then back towards the central position. And what I want you to do is stay there. We're going to open even further through this position. Get a big stretch through the inside of the groin and the
front leg, even through the hip flexor on the back leg. This is where your body starts to feel it a little bit more as you walk the hands back round towards that back foot again. You just see, by us moving the hands, we change the whole dynamics of the stretch. We're not really moving the hips as such, but we're moving the body around the hips, which just shows how much the body is interconnected. From top half to bottom half, walk the hands out a little bit further. You'll feel yourself go a little bit lower now. But if you can even get your hand underneath this leg, imagine you're reaching through, and again that just changes the stretch up a little bit more again. Hand comes back out towards the front. Walk the hands through towards the central point. Tuck the back toe, and then left foot pops out to the outside of the left hand. So both hands are to the inside of the feet. And then drop your bum, and then extend it up, and then take an interlink through the big toe on both feet. So your middle finger and your index finger, hook it underneath, same on opposite side. And try to straighten out the legs, pull the elbows out, drop the head through. Exhale. And you splay these elbows out to the side. I'm going to show you in a different angle so you can see what I'm talking about. You push down the toes, pull up with the fingers, splay the elbows out and pull the head down towards the knees. Inhale to exhale. Keep it there. Good. And then when you do this, exactly the same, but on the opposite side. Bend the knees, right foot comes back. Try and scooch down the outside of the mat again. Make sure this front foot is all the way to the outside edge again. Open up through the chest. I'm just going to drop back on the mat a little bit more so you can see. Open up through the chest. Get used to being in that position. When you come out from that other side and you pop that foot back up to the top, you probably found it quite uncomfortable through your hips. And this is just where we're starting to create those changes through the musculature, through maybe the joint capsule, the connective tissue. We're starting to go deep into the stretch. Walk the hands round towards this back foot. Again, open out through this front knee. You might see a better view from this angle. Imagine you're dropping onto the outside of this front foot. Walk those hands around. You'll even get a stretch through this QL, this quadratus lumborum muscle, where a lot of the time we think that we get lower back pain, but it's deep in through this QL muscle, which I'll talk about a little bit further on as we come back round. Walk all the way around to the front. Hands come out towards the front. Sink through the hips. You might find that you're rounding off through the back, but push the chest towards the front and sink through the hips even further. Walk the hands back round towards the rear again. Again, feel this stretch through this QL. Goes from the 12th rib all the way to the top of the hip, and it's very deep. If we're weak through the side of our body, then this becomes overloaded and it can spasm up, and that's where we get to really deep pain. Maybe you've had that before, maybe you haven't. I know in the past I had it before I started going into exercise, rehabilitation. I didn't really understand my body, but this is one of the great things about yoga. Walk the hands out a little bit further. Is that you start to learn about your body, you start to see where you move, creates a stretch in a different place, and that's what yoga should be. It should be a little bit of self-education, self-discovery, and that's what it's all about. Keep that, we'll do exactly the same thing here. Walk the hands back in line with this front foot, tuck the back toe, and then right foot comes up to the outside again, pretty uncomfortable. You can drop the bum down if you want to. A little bit of movement. And again, interlink the fingers underneath the big toes. Drop through the head. Inhale, exhale.
Splay those elbows out towards the sides. Inhale to exhale. We'll go for a little bit of hamstring flexibility next. Before that, a little bit of funky movement. Flatten off through the back. Take the fingertips down to the floor. And then walk the feet towards each other. Bend the knees, hands come together, rising into the sky. Extend up through the chest, hands out towards the side, exactly what we did before, and onto the small of the back. Elbows pushing together, but draw down with the shoulders. Inhale. Back up. Stretch up, exhale all the way down. Open the chest. Inhale up to the sky. Exhale, forward. Flat back. Fingertips hit the floor. Right foot comes back. Left foot comes back to me. Both feet together. Drop into your downward dog. Start to bend the knees there. One at a time. That's it. Again, drop the knees towards the centre point. Start rotating through the hips. Feel a little bit more every single time you do this. I'm going to go for a bit of a funky forward fold here. So I want you to take your right foot up into the sky. Right foot behind the left hand. Then left foot pops up behind the right. You come into a cross-legged forward fold. Push the knee back on that front leg and it'll create a straightening through this back leg. And then if you've got the confidence, interlink the elbows and let the head drop. Again, breathe it all out. So last bit of standing flexibility we're going to do, and then we move to the floor where we started. Fingertips hit the floor. Left foot comes back. Right foot comes up into the sky. Right foot comes behind the back of the left foot. Push the bum to the sky. Cross-legged downward dog. Sink those heels to the floor. Right foot into the sky. Right foot comes down beside the left into the normal traditional downward dog position. Push that bum to the sky. Keep going. Drop the heels. Push the bum up as you inhale, exhale, lower the heels. Lower the chest. Left foot into the sky. Same again, opposite side. Left foot comes behind the right hand. Right foot comes up behind the left. Push the front knee back to create a stretch as you straighten his back leg. Head drop. Should be starting to feel a little bit more pliable now. Very hip heavy this class. Sit down. You're going through a long developmental stretch for our hamstrings in a second. Alright, right foot comes back. Left foot comes into the sky. Left foot comes behind the right. Drop into this cross leg downward dog. Quite an intense stretch if you're not used to it. Try and push both heels down towards the floor, but still flatten off that back. Left foot into the sky, left foot down to meet the right, into your downward dog once more. Right foot into the sky, right foot forwards in between the hands. Left foot comes to meet right, and then pop yourself into your bum. Extend the bum back. Hands down either side of the hips, draw back, toes up towards your head into this Dandasana position. Try and turn the toes up towards your head as well. And then inhale both hands, look up towards the hands, straighten your exhale, forward fold. Slide up the legs, then inhale, exhale down. This should get a little bit easier every single time. Inhale, exhale down. Inhale, exhale down.
left foot comes to the inside of the right thigh. And try and square your hips off towards the front. Having this left knee pushed out towards the side. Turn the toes up on that extended leg. Inhale up, same thing as you've just done. Exhale down.
But head stays down this time. And stay for a little while. We'll be working into this QL muscle through a few different steps. Allow yourself to relax. Try to step behind the discomfort and as much as you can out of this.
And lift up the chest. Take your right hand and I want you to place it underneath the right leg so it's pinned down. Left hand into the back of the head and then open up, rotate outwards. Elbow, push towards the sky. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And even extend this arm up. If you can get on your toes, wow, well done. You can see here I'm starting to lift up that heel from the floor. A little bit of help from that arm underneath my leg. But just go back to the steps that you can manage. If even having your arms too hard out there, bring it back behind the head. If that's too much, then just feel free to have the hand down towards the chest. If that's too hard, just go back into the normal forward fold. Going to make it a little bit more intense. So you take the arm from underneath that right leg and feed it through this gap. And extend up and round, and you can literally pull on that knee, you can pull on the toe and you create this rotation through the whole of the body. And you open up through this QL muscle even more through this hamstring and the bottom leg. Slowly come out of that because you've been in it for a while. Inhale up to top, exhale forward fold. And down towards the knee. Both hands into the sky, look at the thumbs. Extend the left leg out, exhale forward fold. Slide up through the thighs, inhale. Exhale. As you come up, right foot comes into the inside of the left groin. Inhale up into the sky, look at the thumbs, exhale forward fold. Head down. Breathe it out again. Now, you might find that you are tight through one of the hamstrings. So we start to find out about our body a little bit. Maybe you're a runner, maybe just how you walk. Sometimes you don't drive through the glutes and we use our hamstrings and they get really tight because they're being overused. Now I know I went for a run yesterday and my left hamstring was a little bit tighter than the right. Maybe towards the end of the run, as I got tired because it was a tough run, I started to get a little bit tight through my glutes and the transfer of the load went towards this left hamstring. But this is where we started. Release it a little bit more. Left arm comes underneath the left leg. From there, right hand into the back of the head, rotate up towards the sky. Inching down towards the knee with the head and inching up towards the ceiling with that right elbow. Extend that right arm over. You can grab onto the toe, grab onto the toe if you can, don't worry, that is quite a hard movement. And even for me today, that is pretty tough. And this is what you'll find again, is some days are easier than the others. Some days you feel more pliable, but also try and think in, is this in the morning? It's usually harder in the morning. Our muscle temperature is at its warmest at around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. In relation to circadian rhythm,
Reach through this gap with the left arm if you can. You can even reach through that gap and just take your hand onto your head, or you can go into one of the previous stretches. Working towards this. That's it, open up through the side of the body. And you're a long old time. Raise up into the sky, both hands exhale, forward fold. And down towards the knee. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Hands into the sky. Both feet out to the front. Exhale, forward fold. And down. Spine rest. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Don't worry if you can't get your feet. Just grab onto your shins. Go to where you're able to. There, 2 more breaths. Slide up to the top. Do a little bit of a counter stretch here. So take your fingertips down towards the edge of your bum, elbows back. Lift up through the chest. Through that extension through the spine. And go palms facing upwards. Put your left knee in towards your chest and just start to circle around. Big circles. Yeah, feel a little bit more pliable through these hips now. Back around the other way. Extend that left leg out to the corner of the mat. Pull in with the right knee. Circle through again. Back round the other way. And extend the right leg out to the corner of the mat into Shavasana. Both palms facing upwards. Close the eyes there. I'm going to do a short meditation for you using the Tibetan healing bowls. First, just let yourself go. Connect into the breath. And with every exhale, release into the mat. Bring your attention to the back side of your body. Feel the different pressure points. Starting at the back of the head. Feel the weight of the head into the floor. Move down the body towards the shoulders. Feel the weight of the shoulders into the floor. Tracking down now through the lower back in towards the hips. Feel the weight of the hips into the floor. Let them fall away. Let them become heavier and heavier. Surrender the body to the ground. Moving down the back of the legs. Towards the heels. Feel the weight of the heels into the floor. Totally let go. Let gravity pull you in towards the earth. Bring your attention up through the front side of the body. And track up through the body. Past the knees, towards the hips, to the shoulders. As you get to the face, imagine that you're taking a step inside the front of your mind, open a little trapdoor.
Imagine you're now standing at the top of a set of stairs, 10 steps down towards the last step. Start to step down, 10, 9, 8, 7, let go, 6, 5, 4, relax, 3, 2, 1. You're standing on the bottom step now. And as you step off this last step, you plunge into this next level of consciousness. And you step. You feel yourself let go. You feel yourself surrender to the present moment. You come to the top of another set of steps which lead down to this next level of consciousness, down into your subconscious mind. You step down 10, 9, 8, let go, 7, 6, 5, relax, 4, 3, 2, 1, surrender. Step down another level. Start to feel your body let go. Release any tension that's held here. Sit deep in this state of consciousness. I'm aware of the sense of sound. Become aware of the breath moving in and out of the body in its purest form. So it slowly passes in and out of the lungs. Release control or judgment. Just experience the breath at a deep level. Start to walk back up these steps. Your first step, 2, 3, moving the fingers, 4, 5, the toes, 6, 7, 8, squeezing different muscles in the body, 9, 10. Take the palms together in front of your face and rub the palms. Feel free to lie here a little bit longer if you like. And the class stops. Place the hands over the eyes. Slowly open the eyes into the hands. Spread the fingers apart. And when you start daylight,